What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on new videos. I will keep you up to date here. Multiple things to talk about here. We have competing offers being introduced here in the Senate to reduce inflation and gas prices here and to save Americans money and, well, potentially reduce the profits by the oil companies. And Dr. Fauci test positive for the virus. That's right. Yeah. It seems at this point that nobody's safe. You can let me know your thoughts here, but yeah, it just kind of seems like, I don't know. You can let me know your thoughts here, but to me, it does kind of seem like the flu in the way that it kind of feels like just everybody's going to catch it at some point or another. I mean, when we look at the statistics here, we're averaging here like 166,000 new cases, 105,000 new cases here on the 7-day average. But even when we look down here, we've had like almost 86 million people here test positive just in the United States. And this is only the people that went to official testing facilities. And over 1 million people have died from the virus just in the US alone. 86 million people have caught the virus that have only people that have gone to the official testing facilities. Who knows how many people have actually caught the virus that didn't get tested, didn't alert nobody, or didn't eat, or just took the at-home test. I mean, remember now you can get a third set of at-home tests from the government website at covidtests.gov, T-E-S-T at .gov, not .com, but .gov. So the thing is that half the country alone, or who knows how many, may have caught the virus at this point. And when you look at here worldwide, 537 million cases worldwide and over 6 million deaths. And remember, this is really with basically China not reporting data because China has about 4 times the population of the US, and they really should be above us here if they have 4 times the population, and that's where the virus originated. You would think they'd have more cases and who knows, maybe more deaths, right? Just logically, just with their population, right? No, they're nowhere to even be found on this list. I mean, you would think that they would at least have, you know, I mean, there's just not even on here on the list. They just don't even report. So who knows how many even? Yeah, it's just yeah, it's almost laughable. But the government says here, Dr. Anthony Fauci, the government's top infectious disease expert, did test positive for the virus here on Wednesday and is experiencing, quote, mild symptoms, the National Institute of Health said. Quote, he is fully vaccinated and has been boosted twice. He is experiencing mild symptoms. He will isolate and continue to work from home. He has not recently been in close contact with President Biden or other senior officials. And he has previously avoided testing positive for the virus this long, but he is the latest in a long stint of high profile cases among lawmakers and government officials. Biden is so far one of the few government officials who has avoided getting it, and Dr. Fauci up until now. Dr. Fauci is 81 years old. Cases are significantly less worrisome today than in the early days of the pandemic before vaccines and booster shots were available, though there does remain some risk. I mean, people are still dying every day from it. There are new treatments now. Pfizer's treatment of Paxlovid is a new pill that lowers the risk for people, high risk people who treat positive after you get it. Also, Health and Human Services Secretary Javier Becerra tested positive a second time in less than a month this week. A lot of this is because new subvariants of Omicron have shown an increase of infectiousness, and it seems like they're getting more and more infectious as they go on. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts. I mean, Dr. Fauci's 81 years old. He's definitely at risk. He's had 4 shots here at this point. President Biden he's actually younger. He's 79 years old. He hasn't got it yet. So yeah, hopefully, the shots give him protection. And this is the thing here. That's why I kind of feel like it's like the flu shot, where you get a flu shot. Remember, the flu is a virus, the flu virus, and it doesn't mean that you will never catch the flu. It doesn't give you immunity from the flu. And that's why I feel like they're kind of similar. You can let me know your thoughts if you agree with that or not. But if you get a flu shot, a flu vaccine, you get a flu shot, and then you can still catch the flu. But what they say is, if you do, the flu will be much less severe. You already have antibodies in your system for that year. And if you get flu shots, um, you get them once a year. So, and every year they put in like the latest kind of vaccine for that year's strain. To me, sounds very similar based on, I mean, look at all the different strains we're kind of going through. And that honestly kind of makes me wonder, is this virus, God, it mutates so quickly. Is it going to be around forever? Or will it be one of those viruses or one of the type of diseases that we can eradicate at some point? Obviously, we haven't eradicated it yet, but modern science has eradicated, a lot of different things that we have made vaccines for, and eradicated some stuff. So the question here is, will this be one of those things? Will modern science be able to get rid of this? Or will it be more like a flu shot, where you'll get a flu shot if you want to, and it'll kind of give you some protection, to where if you think about a flu shot, if you get a flu shot and you catch the flu, you typically have it much less severe. And remember, people die from the flu as well. Yeah, typically it's the elderly, and it's the immunocompromised, and so on and so forth. So yeah. And really, what's interesting now is that the pandemic used to be, not too long ago, the number one concern on everybody's mind. I mean, we've had 1 million people die from it in the United States, um, but now inflation is the number one concern on everybody's mind. It's crazy how quickly things can change, and people's mindset can change based on how quickly things in our country, our economy can change, or a health concern in the economy, even though the virus is still here. And hundred some thousand people per day are still testing positive, and that's with a lot of at-home tests going on out there. So who knows how many people are actually testing positive. So, um, me, my wife, and my son had a cold it's got to be about 2 weeks ago now. It kind of lingered around for a while. and maybe even still hear it in my voice a little bit. But we actually got a Z pack from the doctor, and we just did it right through like a phone call and stuff. We have a pretty awesome doctor, but we took an at-home virus test, and it was negative. I didn't go to an official testing facility, so thankfully it was negative, so we didn't have the virus. So we just say oh, it must have been just a cold or something, but like that. But if we were positive, nobody would have known. I mean, the government wouldn't have added it to their statistics. So who knows how many actual people are getting the virus? Yeah, who knows? It could be 300,000 people a day, 400,000. We have no idea. And we might not ever know now. There's just too many at-home tests out there. But the number one concern now is inflation. So Congress is trying to fix that. Check this out.
Tyler, the head of the Senate Finance Committee, is proposing a massive new tax on big oil and gas companies. This comes from Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon. He's proposing an additional 21% tax on the profits of oil and gas companies with at least $1 billion in annual revenue. Now, this tax on so-called excess profits would be applied to anything above 10% of return on expenses. And it would come in additional to the regular corporate income tax that these companies would have to pay. In addition, Wyden is also proposing a 25% excise tax on any stock buybacks that are completed by the company. His office specifically calling out Exxon and Chevron for announcing $40 billion worth of buybacks over the next 2 years. The bill would also close accounting loopholes that his office says are letting these companies lower their tax liabilities. In a statement, his office says that the tax code is working for big oil, but not American families. So again, Senator Ron Wyden, the head of the Senate Finance Committee, proposing a 21% tax on big oil and gas companies.
Yeah, now Ron Wyden from the Senate Finance Committee, Senate Budget Committee, is a Democrat. So the question here is, will Republicans go along with this? Now, the United Kingdom, one of our closest allies, if not our closest allies, maybe along with Canada as well, United Kingdom has actually passed a bill like this. They've actually passed it. It's billions and billions of dollars, and they're going to give the money back to their people. Check this out. It's really a very innovative bill as a way to try to stop the gas companies from gouging the people. Yeah, you can see here, this was a few weeks ago. United Kingdom slaps one-off tax on oil and gas giants to ease the pain of soaring household energy bills. So this actually happened. Yeah, you can see some highlights here. UK Finance Minister has imposed a windfall tax on oil and gas majors as the government scrambles to alleviate the country's worsening cost of living crisis. The oil and gas sector is making extraordinary profits not as the result of recent changes to risk-taking or innovations or efficiency, but as the result of surging global commodity prices driven in part by Russia's war. This is the United Kingdom saying this, guys. This isn't Biden or the US saying that. This is the United Kingdom. Their gas prices are more than us. Yeah, you can see here their most recent, based on this website I use just right from Google, their most recent reading for gas for equated to US dollars and equated to US gallons, because they're in British pounds and liters. They're $8.38 a gallon in US dollars and US gallons. So they're way more than us. You think gas is bad here? Pretty much all of Europe pays more for gas than us. Canada pays more for gas than us. So inflation and gas prices and food prices is we actually pay less than gas than a lot of the world. I mean, look at the United Kingdom. It's $8.38 a gallon there. And but they are now taxing their gas companies there and giving part of the money back. The new levy will be charged on the profits of oil and gas companies at a rate of 25% before being phased out when the commodity prices return to more normal levels. Britain's oil and gas giants BP and Shell reported massive quarterly profits earlier this month as they benefited from surging commodity prices during Russia's onslaught in Ukraine. It has fueled calls for the government to tax their surplus cash. Today, it feels like the chancellor has finally realized the problems that the country is facing. And get this, UK inflation jumped to 9% last month as food and energy prices spiraled. The Bank of England expects inflation to rise above 10% later this year. Look, here it is right here in black and white, guys. UK inflation is worse than in the US. That's why I like to show this to you guys because it's not just a problem in the US. It's inflation, food prices, gas prices. I'll even zoom this in here for you guys. Here it is right here. Inflation in the United Kingdom is actually worse in the US. And there's countries all around the world dealing with this same issue, So the thing is that they're actually passing bills to try to fix the problem. The question is, will the US do the same thing? Their inflation is actually slightly higher, 9% last month. They expect it to be above 10% this month. And this is why I really don't think it would be that much different if Trump was in office. And I mean, I know all the Trump supporters are going to say, I'm crazy here, but look, if inflation is like this everywhere around the world, you got to just see the common denominator. When gas prices are actually way higher all around the world, they're paying $8 a gallon or more. Inflation is 9% in the UK. Inflation is high everywhere around the world. I mean, you tell me. You tell me. And the question here is that what do we do about it? Do we just ride it out? Is it just part of the normal recessionary process? Yeah. So we go back to this bill here. Okay, so real quick here, the UK said around 8 million of the lowest income households in the UK will be sent a one-off cost of living payment of 819 from this bill. The first payment will be issued directly to people's bank accounts in July, with the second payment being sent in the fall. The finance minister announced 8 million pensioner households will receive an extra winter fuel payment of 300, I think that's pounds, and a one-off disability cost of payment as well of another 150, and another 200 loan for energy bills now no longer needs to be paid back, and increase this support for households to $400. This is the type of stuff we need here in the US as well. The total cost of living measures announced on Thursday came to $15 billion, bringing the total cost of living support provided this year to $37 billion. Remember, the UK is much, much smaller than the US. So if they did this for the US, it would be a lot larger as well. And they said the price changes that we have seen in the gas market are genuinely a once in a generation event that we have not seen since the 1970s. Again, it's happening everywhere in the world. This is and again, I'm not trying to defend anybody. I'm just trying to show everybody here that this is what's happening all around the world. This is what a lot of people don't realize. They think it's just the US. It's not. But other countries are trying to do things to help the people. And we need to also. So, this US Senate bill to propose tax on excess oil profits could be the start of this. But would Republicans vote for it? Would Republicans vote for it? And President Joe Biden on Friday accused the U.S. oil industry and ExxonMobil Corp in particular of capitalizing on a supply shortage to fatten profits after a report showed inflation surging to a new 40-year record. In May, the U.S. House passed a bill that would allow Biden to issue a energy emergency declaration, making it unlawful for companies to excessively increase gasoline and home fuel prices. But the Senate needs to pass it, and they need 10 Republicans to pass the legislation. Now, the Republicans just announced a bill as well, but I'm running out of time in this video. I'll cover it in the next video. Let me know your thoughts here. It's a different type of bill here, but let me know your thoughts here in the comments. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't yet. It's completely free to subscribe, and click the bell icon after you subscribe so you get notifications when we go live. We got to do something. Other countries are doing something. We got to do something. We know gas prices are high everywhere around the world. Food prices are at an all-time high everywhere around the world as well. But we need Congress to come together and actually do something for the people. So we can't just say, oh, it's the Democrats' fault, or oh, it's the Republicans' fault, or oh, it's the president's fault. We have to actually make some action. We can't just play the blame game. The blame game gets old. But let's help the people. Who cares whose fault it is? I mean, really, it's not really anybody's fault because it's going on all around the world. It really doesn't take a rocket science to figure that out. I mean, you could just go on Google and look at the inflation all around these other countries. Look at the gas prices at all these other countries, and you realize if all these other countries are dealing with it as well, then it's really not it's not really just us. It's really not that hard to figure that out. It's not rocket science. So, but nonetheless, we have to there's so many people struggling right now that what's Congress and what's our government going to do? So I'll keep you up to date here. Let me know your thoughts. You click here to see my new video about raising Social Security by $2,400. That was just proposed in the Senate. And here's my newest video about stimulus checks being passed by multiple states. That's actually pretty good too. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.